Perspective number 2. Christ and the church as the model of relationships. Christ and the church. It is a perspective, it is a Christian perspective that has been existed since the foundation of the world, since the foundation of this planet, that the relationship which is intimate is supposed to model the relationship between the church and Christ and the church. Anything against that and anything opposite to that and anything which is not like that is completely not a Christian perspective into relationship. It is whether you want it or not. Any intimate relationship that you are having must model, must imitate the relationship that Christ has to the church and the church has to Christ. And don't you forget, my brothers and sisters, the engineer and the initiator of intimate relationship is God himself. During the Eden Garden, when he said, this man cannot be alone, I will make him a compatible assistant. Now, what happened in the relationships today is couples, instead of coming together as compatible parts, for compatibility, they are competing instead of being compatible. In psychology, people who brings together, some of the chemical factors that brings people together are 2: need for compatibility and need for complementarity. Research in psychology and my experience of 28 years during practical counseling, I come to realize need for compatibility. People who are compatible in certain matters, they usually have a chemistry of coming together. You'll come to realize people who have been parented with single parents, they will normally love each other. People who come from problematic, broken families, they come together and they love each other. People who have been experiencing trauma in their relationship, they usually come and love each other. People who come from alcoholic parents, they normally come together in the love. But when they come together, they don't understand. They don't know what chemistry that brings them together. It's what we call need compatibility. And another one is need complementarity. Some people who come, somebody who has something and somebody who lacks something, and they complement each other. And they find a big chemistry into them. So remember, the initiator of intimate relationship is God. Is God. But the problem is, instead of coming as to complement and to be compatible, we come to compete. That's what's happening. That's what breaks a lot of relationship. So we are supposed to mend our relationship with the model being the relationship of Christ and the church. The book of Ephesians, I love the letter that Apostle Paul is writing to the Ephesians. Apostle Paul was writing this epistle, this letter to the Ephesians, when they got born again, they were totally immersed in spirituality and they forgot issues related to their families. They forgot things related to love, saving husbands, and everybody was in church, busy working for the Lord. and families were disintegrating. And Paul told them that is not how it's supposed to be. And he called the wives and said, wives, submit to your husband. And he called them husbands, and he told husbands, love your wives. Now, let me give you a psychological perspectives into this. I love psychology because psychology is mending a lot with gospel. So as I'm preaching psychology, I'm preaching Christ at the same time. Now let me give you this. We have done the research. More than 9 religions, not madhehebu, more than 9 religions speaks of the same analogy of a man loving a woman and a woman submitting. Now let me tell you, normal Swahili Bible and normal translated to translated versions, they say respect. But the original version is not women respect. Is women submit. If you take it from Hebrew, which was translated to King James, it is not respect. And some other Bible, which are a little bit deceiving more, they write it, wives, obey. Now let me tell you, if you read Ephesians 5:25, it talks about Ephesians 5:22, it talks about wives submitting. But other Bible says wives obey. But if you go to Ephesians 6:1, it talks about children obey your parents. Now let me tell you the difference between obedience and submission. Obedience means do as I say. It is only the child that can obey the parents. It is only an adult who can obey the road signs. That's why we say in police, utii bila shuruti. That is obedience, not respect, not submission. We obey the rules. We don't submit to the rules. Somebody understand me? Why children obey their parents? Because you feed them, you take them to school, so you can say and they will do. You sing, they dance. They will like it or not. That's why the parents usually says, if you think you don't obey, get out here and go start. You cannot do that to your wife. Now, respect is not exactly what Paul was telling women. He told them to submit. Because let me tell you, if you cannot submit, you cannot respect. Respect is a fruit of submission. You submit first. Okay, let me teach you this. Respect is what we see out, but is a result of submission which was done inside. Somebody understand me? So, if you cannot submit, you cannot respect. Have you seen those people who, when they greet, they go down like that? Do you know those kind of tribes? Nyakusas are number 1. But let me tell you, you can knee physically, but standing inside. Do you understand me? You can knee because you are in the wedding and you know the walkway, watasema nini. So you knee, but inside here. I love my Chaga sisters. They can't bend. They will give you the cake while they are standing, just like electrical pole. Awana mbambamba. They cannot bend. It's not our culture. But do you know, have you gone to the send-offs and weddings? There are some people who it's not their culture, and they will bend. But wait when they come to coming up. They can't. Muscles can't allow them. It's not your thing. Let me tell you, if you bend physically, you're supposed to bend inside. When you bend inside, that is what we call submission. Are we together? I'm not telling you bending is submission. I'm telling you submission is what happening inside, and what we see outside is respect. Now let me give you an analogy on this. Husbands are told, Paul says, husband, love your wives. Women thinks that, now, let me tell you, The world today is deceiving women. They comprehend that submission is slavery. Let me tell you, if you are a lady here, you're not married. If you think you cannot submit, don't you ever think of getting into a relationship, because it will fail. Because God created a man with ego inside. The only thing marinate man's ego is submission. You don't have submission, you will face a lot of problems with a man. You cannot live with a man, because we are created by ego. That is why in psychology we have done research. Women with ego and pride, they have a lot of problems in relationship. Have you ever seen that? They will be very successful in the corporate. They will be managers and directors. They will have pure nice business. Come indoor in the relationship, they can't. Why? Because they cannot submit. Why? Because the man needs submission. Why? Because God created him with ego. Why? Because God prepared him to be a leader. You cannot submit. Stay with the parents. I promise you, you will be successful in the corporate place. You will be successful in marketplace. You will be successful in academia. You will have masters and PhD. You will go every places. But let me tell you, ndoa itakupa za uso. You want it or you don't want it. I'm here to call a spade spade, and not a big spoon.